Hello and welcome to the Chucast to the Whoop. Welcoming you to KCC Season 7, week number 2. We came off of a really good win last week. We're currently 1-0 plus 5, which puts us tied at top of the leaderboard right now, which is really good. And our opponent this week is the champion of last season in the minors division, Johnpaul, the coach of the Miami Marincess. His draft looks a little scary, but I'm confident we have this week in the bag. His draft consists of Yubel, Hero, Chaos, Zombie Package, Shiranui, Sacred Beast, Apollosa, Typhon, Change of Heart, Destrudo, and Titanicider. A lot of staples and a lot of really scary decks to work around, but notably I'm really only scared of two of the decks. Yubel is a very scary deck in the TCG and translates very well into draft format, despite only having one Phantom. And Hero has always been a very good deck in draft format, considering it is so self-contained. So what's the plan this week? I believe Lab has another really good matchup this week, as long as we can kind of play well around Zombie World specifically, because it does turn off quite a few of our interactions. And by extension, quite a few of our decks actually have a bad matchup into Zombie World, notably, so we're going to have to keep an eye out for that. But we have a game plan that I think can do it. We're going to lead Labrynth because that is the deck that has the best matchup into every single deck. And then depending on what he brings first, we'll either bring Raidraptor, DDD, or Unchained. We're really trying to dodge some really tough matchups this week, considering we don't want to fight Hero with Unchained, and we don't want to fight something like Zombie World with DDD. And to back up our plan this week, we've got some pretty good non-engine. Santa Claus, Lava Golem, and Alpha sort of feature as our evergreen board breakers, since they're just kind of good into everything. And Dark Ruler kind of falls into that same sense. Additionally, we're playing stuff like Chalice, which either 1-for-1s for an end board piece or negates something like Apollosa entirely, which is really good. And Cosmic Cyclone is really backbreakingly good into the Zombie World matchup and kind of wins us the game. We got a couple Floodgates this week. Power Filter kind of 6-0s Johnpaul's entire draft, and Simul Archfiends is just always good. Notably, we have a couple lab-specific cards for the Zombie World matchup. We don't really want to get caught with our pants down versus Zombie World, so we're playing Heavy Storm Duster. We're even playing Karma Cut, which banishes Baylordrock, which kind of turns off the entire deck for the rest of the game. As well, for Hero, we're playing Link Karibo in every one of our extra decks, just for the possibility that, he has Dark Angel in his Hero deck, so I don't want to lose to that card. And lastly, we got our hand traps, which once again feature really well into this matchup. Skullmeister and Ghostmourner make a return. So without further ado, let's get right into those games and hopefully keep up this undefeated win rate. Alright, loading up Labrynth first into Zombie Package, where Johnpaul summons Zombie Master and passes. I guess he bricked? We'll summon Ariana, adding Torby, pitching itself and Soul Scissors for Big Welcome, before summoning Lady Lab, setting one and passing. You'll summon Tatsu Necro, and Synchro summon Necro Dragon, which will easily remove with Big Welcome, triggering all of our lab names, and from here, it won't take long to find lethal. As for Game 2, Johnpaul resolves Zombie World, then summons Unizombie, but we don't see any sight of Glow-Up Bloom for Baylordrock. That's good for us, because our hand is awkward, and it's going to take a turn or two to develop. We summon Backjack for Link Karibo, and the Simul Archfiends we set triggers Lady Lab to summon on his turn, which is luckily going to allow us to start getting to everything we need, despite Johnpaul climbing into Sun Saga. Heavy Storm Duster will remove Zombie World, and Big Welcome will let us summon Lovely to clear the Sun Saga. I think he's seen enough of this one. Match 2. We're feeling really confident after that Zombie Package showing, so we're loading up Raidraptor second, and unfortunately Contact C does prevent us from getting to the normal end board, so we're hoping this Singular Towers is enough, but Johnpaul's loaded up Yubel, which is easily the worst matchup we could have gotten. Unfortunately, with 0 forms of interruption, Johnpaul just has a free reign to find lethal with slamming his Yubel into our rank 13 for 1 billion damage. Alright, we're once again going first, and I feel like if we can establish the normal board with Barrage, I think we can make this go to a game 3 and easily beat him with our non-engine. Seeing delay on our card effects leads me to believe he has Ghost Mourner, meaning we have to play this in a certain way to get the combo line. But that's fine. We should be able to still do this easily, if not for the Flying Sea in hand. Playing around Mourner meant now our board is really clogged, but we can still produce the normal line. Minus one of the Tower of Monsters, which should be fine. Unfortunately, because we had to play so hard around the Mourner, we're unable to establish a Barrage, and this motherfucker just also has Cosmic Cyclone for the rank up, and everything. It's fine. Match 3 should go better. We've got Hero as his last deck, and we've loaded up DDD. Unfortunately, we've lost the die roll, and Johnpaul starts by summoning Stratos off of Hero Lives, adding Plasma. He summons another, adding Malicious, and this doesn't look right. He spins his wheels, not really ending on anything meaningful, other than a bunch of big, beefy guys. We summon Copernicus, sending Angry Slime, then summon Griffin into Gilgamesh, setting Scales. We threaten the back row with Orthros, which forces the favorite Contact into DPE. We scale Ragnarok, then Pen Summon. We overlay for Machinex, which seemingly baits out the DPE pop. And, oh, I'm just now realizing we kinda can't beat over monsters that big because we took out Alexander. I guess at least we can kind of set up the normal board, threatening some interaction. And unfortunately, we misclick and overlay into Machinex instead of Wave Hiking Caesar. We can save off lethal with Headhunt on the following turn, but this game is as good as done. Game 2, we're going first, and Salesman insulates us against any sort of Ghost Mourner, and we're able to use Copernicus plus Griffin to make the general end board of Wave Hiking Caesar, Siegfried, Machinex, and Headhunt. Johnpaul summons Stratos off of Hero Lives, which is fine. He tries to mass change the increase, so we're going to negate that with Siegfried. Then he activates Fusion Destiny, which is going to fiend out the Wave High negate, and it'll scoop it up. Okay, breathe. Game 3. Hero's going first, but if the hand is anything like before, we might have a way through it. We just have to believe. Johnpaul once again starts with Stratos, weaving through Ferris into Increase, which feels right. Though Ascent Shadow Mist adds Plasma, and I think we're once again off the rails. Luckily for us, all we have to deal with is a Plasma and Malibane. We Lamia to send the Necro Slime from hand, then foolishly link off our Link Rebo, banishing the Lamia. It's fine. We can Fusion Summon Genghis, then summon the Orthros in hand to make Bright Armageddon and attack over Plasma. If not, for the honest fucking Neos in hand. We're going to scale the Bright Armageddon and hope to find a high scale next turn, I guess. A dead card off the top for Johnpaul means we're not dead, but unfortunately our top deck is the third Griffin. If we hadn't scaled the Bright Armageddon, I think there was a way to swing over Plasma, then go into the DDD combo, though with a little less resources. Frustrating shit, man. I don't want to talk about it. Fuck. I don't want to talk about it. While there's a lot of excuses I could have for the game, you know, like maybe I should have taken the forfeit win instead of extending our game. Maybe I shouldn't have taken out Alexander from the DDD deck. Maybe I should have played DDD more to understand what it did. Maybe I just shouldn't have played DDD. I should have studied the matchup more, etc., etc. But ultimately, I lost. And the differential loss wasn't even that bad. Good games to Johnpaul, though. I'm excited to see how you perform in the Majors division, and if we meet in playoffs, I've definitely got it this time. I read your book. I got your book. I got your number now. Coping, am I right? It sucks to go into a week so overly confident and get punished for that. If I had taken the extra time to, like, learn that Yubel Raidraptor was such a miserable matchup, maybe that could have been a different scenario, but ultimately I can't go change the past, so we're here, 1-1, and it's alright. And we have to look through the future. Our next week opponent is Necro and the Milwaukee and the Anomalocaris, and that one's definitely going to be a very, very scary match. So, I hope you all enjoyed. Comment, rate, subscribe, really helps the channel, and if you want to see more, you know where to look. Bye-bye!